Okay, so I'm going to start by drawing some circles. And the first one I'm going to draw is going to be, so I'll just go here. I'm going to look at it top down. I'm going to click center point circle and let's go 0, 0, 0. The diameter of this is going to be 2.125, so 2 and 1/8 inch. I'm going to hit enter. And then I'm going to offset this by 1/16 of an inch. I'm sorry, I'm going to offset it by 1/8 of an inch. So let's go here, offset. I've got to type in 0.125, enter, and then I select the object that I want to offset in the direction. That's not how it works. I'm going to go offset, 0.125, enter. Select object to offset. That's the one. And I'm going to go right there. Now I'm going to offset. Oh, do I want to offset? Oh, I could just do circle. I'm going to start my circle here in the center again. This one's going to be a diameter of 3.125. And then because my offset's already set up at 1/8 inch, I click it. I hit enter, and I'm going to offset that 1/8 of an inch. So that's actually our inner and outer overall piece. We've got to do some stuff to it, but that will get us started. Okay, so now that I have these, I've got to do a couple things to them. So why don't I do this? So I'm going to look at it from the side so I can see up this y-axis. And I really want to be careful that I'm drawing straight up on the z-axis, but I'm going to choose the line tool. And I'm going to go and click and go up. So see how it says here by my mouse plus z. I'm going up in the z. I want to go 0.0625 up there, and then I want to go back down that y-axis. So 90 there, having ortho on is going to help. I'm going to go 0.0625 again, and then I'm going to go up. And this time I'm going to go, let's see, I should be able to go up 1/2 inch minus 1/8 inch. So that means I'm going to go up 3/8 of an inch. So 0.375. Go back. It's wanting to snap there. I don't want to snap there. Let me turn object snapping off. I'm going to go back up the y, 0.0625. I'm going to go vertical on the y, on the z, 0.0625. And then I'm going to come back down here. This is going to be 0.125 because it's 1/8 inch between. Then I can just go straight down. Turn my object snapping back on because I want it to stop there. And I'm going to go straight up the y there. So I just made like a little letter C. Okay. Now, I think I can go ahead. I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to try to mirror this here in a little bit. So before I do that, though, I'm going to draw one of the actual bearing rollers. So I'm going to look at it from the top down, just like that. And I'm going to draw my bearing roller right here. And so I'm going to go with my circle tool. And here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to shift right click and choose mid between 2 points. And I'm going to go from, this is a quadrant. Quadrants are drawn at the 0, 90, 180, and 270 degrees on a circle. So I'm going to go to that quadrant. And then my other one, I need to go to this quadrant. This is choosing endpoint. The endpoint is actually on the quadrant because I just drew that endpoint. So I'm going to go there. That will put my circle directly between these two. And we've been talking about clearance. Previously, I've tried to do this with a 0.01, so 1/100th of an inch clearance. And when I printed it, it had a lot of play in it. So we're actually going to go with a 5 thousandths. So that's going to be half as much. 0.005 will be half as much as 0.01 clearance. So that should keep things a little tighter. It should keep this from falling apart after it prints, because I printed it, it sort of worked, but it's not going to stay together. And what fun is that? So here's what I do is I'm just going to make it so that it goes to this endpoint, and then I'm going to offset it 0.005. Not 0.5, not 0.05, but 0.005. And then I'm just going to make sure I offset that, go in there, and that should work there. Okay, now that should be a diameter of 0.3650, I believe, for the trivia nerds that really want to know what we're working with. Okay, so now what I can do, I can look at it again kind of from this angle, any angle where I can see this letter C that I created, and I want to region that letter C. So I'll just go and choose all the points, all the parts of that. Now you want to be real careful on this. You don't want the circle to be part of it. You just want that, like a neon letter C, and hit enter its region. Now I've already got realistic selected because I previously made a bearing on this and then deleted it to do this new one the way I want. For now, I'll go with X-ray. And this time I'm going to do a 3D mirror. So I'll go right here and I'll choose, this is my object. And I'm going to mirror it. I chose that. I have to choose a three points of an axis. So I may actually run into some trouble with this, but I think I've done this before, and it will let me pull straight up in the Z again. So I have to make like, I'm kind of drawing 3 points of a mirror. Do I want to delete the source objects? No. Hit enter, and there it goes. It'll flip across that circle. If the circle is drawn right, everything should work out just like that. Okay. I'm going to extrude that up 0.063, and I got to hit enter first, don't I? 0.063 was already in there, and so I'm going to go with that. And that should just be a little bit above. Okay, now that's going to be influenced by the chamfer I'm going to make over here later. And the chamfer I'm going to do here later. So it's just a tiny bit above. I'm going to draw a circle on the top of my cylinder right here. And I'm going to go 0.49 as my diameter. And that'll get us most of the way over there. Like everything else, it's region. And we will extrude. Now, this is going to be, it's a 1/2 inch minus 1/16, minus 1/16, minus 1/100th of an inch. Okay, so we're going to extrude this to 0.374. And again, I got to hit enter. I've got this bad habit I've started, just typing in the number after I click. So that is awfully close there. That's what we want. And we are awfully close here. That should be okay. Let's draw another circle. Actually, we're doing this multi-step. Why don't we draw a cylinder? Why don't we skip that extra step? And we'll draw that cylinder to be the same width as the other guy. So that's going to be a diameter of 0.365 and a height of 0.063. Let's check it out. That is even up there. So we have a little further gap here than we have here. I'm not going to worry too much about that. That chamfer again should help with that. So now I think this is the fun part. Well, actually, we're going to do a couple things that are fun here. Let's go ahead and take this, and union those. I don't know why I do that first. Sometimes you can select things first in AutoCAD. Sometimes you can't. This time you can't. Okay, now we're going to do what's called a sweep. And so I'm going to go to solid, and I'm going to click on sweep. I'm going to click on my inner C shape here. Doesn't matter if you do inner or outer, but I'm doing my inner. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to sweep it along that right there and see how it follows that circle around and uses that profile that I made. Look at that. Oh yeah. Now let's go ahead and sweep this one. We'll do the outside. Enter. And we're going to sweep along the inside of that. Getting swept away in my excitement for the sweep here. All right, now we're getting there here. Okay, now I guess I'll go ahead and do my chamfer in here. So I'm going to go here to chamfer edge, and let's see, which one do I want to chamfer first? I'm going to chamfer this corner first. So first I'm going to go distance, and the first distance that I want to go, let me look at my numbers here. My outside distance. Okay, should be 0.0625. It should be that 16th of an inch on these guys, and 0.0625 on that guy. And so I'll go here. Let's see it. Yep, good. Now since I can see this corner, I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to select that edge with the same number. Enter to accept. Accept the terms and conditions of the chamfer. It's still in chamfer, so I don't think I hit space, but I'm going to go with it. Accept it. And lastly, well, not lastly, lastly on these pieces, we'll accept those chamfers there. Okay, now let's hope for the best on this. We have to, well, probably it's easiest if we change our layers. So I'm just going to move this to another layer. If I had you make layer 1, new layer, we're going to move that to the new layer. So how you do that is you select it, and then you choose a different layer. I'm going to choose this object lines, lime green layer. We use that in CAD 101. You can choose your new layer, or layer 1 or layer 2. Choose the other layer, and it should move it to that layer. The color may not change for you if you didn't change the color of that layer at another time. And then I'm going to click the light bulb, and it's just going to poof, disappear. Now it's not gone forever. It's just hidden. It's like if you work with, Photoshop, or if you work with Illustrator in any of our art classes, it'll be kind of like that. So now I'm going to chamfer this stuff here, and I'm going to try to chamfer it by 0.063. So let's try to do that. 0.063. Oops, I'm sorry. Distance, 0.063. 0.063. And I want to take this corner. Will it let me do that? It won't. That's a little too much. We can try the 0.625. Well, that's because I typed in distance 0.0625. Yep. Let's try that. So we're going to go with this one. It liked that one, so let's go with it. Let's chamfer this one. And we're doing these inside corners. I like the look of that. So that means I can go ahead and, well, I guess I can leave that layer off for now, or I can turn it back on, but I'm going to leave it off for the time being. because now I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to my array down arrow and I'm going to do a polar array. And I'm going to array this object around, hopefully, let me choose the origin here. Will you let me snag the center? There we go. And previously I tried 17 of these, and that looks good. The dimensions on here, I think, allow for 17 to fit nicely. I've got a little bit of a gap. We could do some math and scale these perfectly, but that doesn't seem necessary for this. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to close the array, and then I'm going to explode the array. That way each of these is its own thing. Okay. Good. So now I can go ahead and I'm going to turn on my object lines layer, or you turn on the layer you just turned off. And I'm just going to move this back to the layer it was. If you were on layer 0, you can go ahead and move it back to layer 0. It is not considered good practice to do drawings on layer 0. So I know, some of you are going to be like aghast that I would ask you to even consider doing such a thing. But that's just what we are doing because, I'm a lunatic or something. Okay, there we go. That looks good to me. It's really hard to see the chamfer and how it coincides here, but I can see this little bitty gap. That should be good. So with that, now there's nothing special I need to do in Slicer. I guess before I do anything, I'm going to change my facet res, and mine was already 10 because I used this same exact document before. Facet res. Well, somehow it changed to 0.22. So we got to back up to facet res of 10. If it's not a facet res of 10, it's not going to be round, and it'll be. I mean, your bearing's probably going to be noisy. It's plastic, and it's going to be rattling together anyway. But it'll be a lot worse, and it won't look nearly as nice. So we'll go here. We can export it like normal. You should be able to print this at 0.15 speed or quality, or you really don't need to change anything. Don't print this with supports. It doesn't need supports. That's what all the chamfering was for, to avoid all of that. So with that should give you a pretty sweet bearing to show off at parties and impress your friends and family. Maybe they're coming over for some holiday or birthday coming up. Look at what I did, friends and family. Great photo for your Friday email. Just saying. I'm going to hit save. You should back it up to Vox.com. And I hope you found this as fun as I did.